Hi, boys and girls. So welcome back to video 2 of Junie B, and it's her first day of kindergarten. Do you remember your first day of kindergarten? Oh my gosh, you looked so pretty and shiny in the morning with shiny shoes and clean clothes and a brand new backpack, and your hair was perfectly done. But at the end of the day, everything was falling out and it was a mess, and you were tired and crabby and was ready for a nap. Let's see what happened with Junie B and Lucille and that gym she hates on her first day of school with Chapter 5. Principal. After we left the nurse, we went to the main office. That's where the boss of the school lives. His name's Principal. Principal's a baldy. He talked to us. Then Lucille raised her hand. My brother said that last year he had to come down here and you yelled at him. And now he's not allowed to beat up kids at recess anymore. Principal kind of laughed. Then he held the door for us to leave. After that, we walked to the water fountain, and Mrs. let us get a drink. I didn't get a long one enough, though, because kids kept tapping on me. Hurry up, girl, they said. Yeah, only guess what? That's not even my name, I told them. Her name is Junie Bumblebee, said Lucille. Then she laughed. But I don't think it was a very funny joke. After that, Mrs. showed us where the bathrooms were. There's 2 kinds of bathrooms in our school, a boys' kind and a girls' kind. I can't go in the boys' kind, though, because no girls are allowed, that's why. I tried to peek my head in there, but Mrs. snapped her fingers at me. The only boy who got to go into the bathroom was the boy I can beat up. He was jiggling around very much. Then he started running all over the place, and he was holding the front of his pants. William, said Mrs., are you having an emergency? Then William yelled, yes! And he ran right in there. The rest of us walked back to our room. I touched Lucille's fingernails. She said that her fingernail polish is named Very, Very Berry. I would like to have fingernails red too, I said, but I am only allowed to have the kind of polish that makes them look shiny. Its name is Clear. Clear is the color of spit. I hate clear, said Lucille. Me too. And here they are. And there's William jiggling around because he has to go to the bathroom. And also, I hate yellow, which is the color of the stupid, smelly school bus. Lucille nodded her head. My brother said when you ride home on the bus, kids pour chocolate milk on your head. Then all of a sudden my stomach felt very squeezy again because I had to ride the bus home, that's why. Why did you have to tell me that for, Lucille? I said kind of grouchy. After we got back to room 9, we did some more work. It was a game to help us learn each other's names. I learned Lucille, and also a girl named Charlotte, and another girl named Grace. Then I learned a boy named Ham, which we eat at Grandma Miller's. Pretty soon, Mrs. clapped her loud hands together. Okay, everyone, gather up your things. It's almost time for the bell. Then I heard a noise in the parking lot. It was screechy brakes, and so I looked out the window and I saw the school bus. It was coming to get me. Oh, no, I said kind of loud. Now I'm going to get chocolate milk poured on my head. Then I chewed on my fingers. Get in line, said Mrs. When we get outside, I want all of my bus students to come with me. The rest of you must go to the crossing guard. Everyone was lining up. I was the very last one. Just then the bell rang, and Mrs. marched out the door. Then everybody marched out too. Except guess what? I didn't. Chapter 6, A Good Hider. When you're the very last one in line, nobody watches you. That's how come nobody saw me when I ducked behind the teacher's desk and hid. I'm a good hider. One time at Grandma Miller's house, I hid under the kitchen sink. Then I made a growly sound and sprung out at her. I'm not allowed to do that anymore. Anyway, I stayed scrunched behind the teacher's desk for a while, and then I saw a better place to hide. It was the big supply closet in the back of the room. And so I ran back there very fast, and I squeezed onto the bottom shelf. I squeezed right on top of the construction paper. Most of me was uncomfortable, except my head was sort of very tight, and my knees were all bended, like when I do somersaults. You see her? Oh my gosh, she's all crouched up on top of the construction paper on that shelf. Oh my goodness. Then I pulled the door mostly closed. Don't shut it all the way, though. And I mean it, I said right out loud. I stayed real quiet for lots of minutes. Then I heard noises in the hall, and some feet came running into the room. Big people's feet, I think. What happened? I heard someone ask. One of my little girls is lost, said a voice that sounded like Mrs. Her name is Junie B. Jones, and she didn't get on the bus, so now we've got to go out looking for her. Then I heard some keys jingle, and the feet went running out again, and then the door shut. I still didn't come out of the closet, though. When you're a good hider, you can't come out for a very, very long time. I just stayed there, all bended up, and I told myself a story. Not an out loud story. I just told it inside my head. It was called The Little Hiding Girl. I made it up, and this is how it went. Once upon a time, there was a little hiding girl. She was in a secret spot where nobody could find her, except her head was very tight and her brain was squishing out. But she still couldn't come out of her spot, or a smelly yellow monster would get her. And also some meetings with chocolate milk. The end. After that, I rested my eyes. Resting your eyes is what Grandpa does when he watches TV after dinner. Then he snores, and Grandma Miller says, "Go to bed, Frank." It's not the same thing as a nap, though, 'cause naps are for babies, that's why. And anyway, I didn't snore. I just did a little drool. Then finally, when my eyes were done resting, they woke up. And so I came out of the closet and ran right to the window. And guess what? There weren't any cars in the parking lot, and no stupid smelly bus either. Phew, that's a relief, I said. A relief is when your stomach doesn't feel squeezy anymore. After that, I went back to the closet, 'cause while I was hiding, I sniffed the smell of clay. That's why. And clay is my very favorite thing in the whole world. Hey, I see it up there, I said. The clay was on the middle shelf. I stood on a chair to get it. It was blue and stiff, and so I had to roll it on the floor to make it soft and warm. Then I rolled it into a blue orange. It was very beautiful, except it had some dirt and hair in it. After I was done, I went to the front of the room and sat down in my teacher's big chair. I like teachers' desks very much. The drawers are so big, I could fit in one, I think. I opened up the top one. There were happy face stickers and rubber bands and also gold stars, which I love a lot. I stuck one on my forehead. Then I found paper clips and red marking pens and new pencils with no points and scissors and travel tissues. And guess what else? Chalk! I said, brand new chalk. That's not even out of its little box yet. Then I stood up on my teacher's chair and clapped my hands together very loud. I want everyone to find a chair and sit down. Today we're going to learn some alphabet and some reading. And also I'll teach you how to make a blue orange. But first everyone has to watch me draw stuff. Then I went to the board and I drew with my brand new chalk. I drew a bean and a carrot and some curly hair. Then I wrote some O's. O's are my bestest letter. After that, I bowed. Thank you very much, I said. Now you may all go out for recess, I smiled. Except for not that Jim. Chapter 7. Peeky Holes and Spying. After a while, I started to get a little bit thirsty. That's what happens when chalk sprinkles get in your throat. I would like a drink of water, I think, I said. Then I put my hands on my hips. Yeah, only what if somebody sees you at the water fountain? Then they might call the stupid Smelly bus to come get you, and so you better not go. I stamped my foot. Yeah, only I have to go, 'cause there's dumb chalk in my throat. Then all of a sudden I got a great idea. I pulled a chair over to the door and I peeked out the window at the top. I'm a good peeker. One time, I peeked right into Grandpa Miller's mouth when he was sleeping, and I saw that dangly thing that hangs in the back. I didn't touch it, though, because I didn't have a little stick or anything, that's why. Anyway, I didn't see anybody in the hall. And so I opened the door a crack, and I sniffed. Because sometimes when you sniff, you can smell if there's people around. I learned sniffing from my dog, Tickle. Dogs can smell everything. People can mostly just smell big smells, like stink and flowers and dinners. Nope, don't smell anyone, I said. Then I ran into the water fountain and I drank for a long time. And nobody tapped on me and said, hurry up, girl. After that, I stood on my tippy toes and I tippy-toed to the media center because I love that place. Remember? The media center is kind of like a fort. The shelves are like walls and the books are sort of like bricks. And you can move some of them around to make peeky holes. Peeky holes are what you spy out of. Then if you see somebody coming, you can make your breath very quiet and they won't find you. I spied for a long time, but nobody came. The only people in the media center were just me and some fish. The fish were in a big glass tank. I waved at them in there. Then I stirred them with a pencil. I love fish very much. I eat them for dinner with coleslaw. Just then I saw my most favorite thing in the whole world. Its name is an electric pencil sharpener. And it was sitting right on the librarian's desk. Hey, I said, very excited. I think I know how to work that thing. Then I looked in the desk drawer, and guess what? There were lots of brand new pencils in there. And so I sharpened them. It was funner than anything, because an electric pencil sharpener makes a nice noise. And you can make pencils as teeny as you want. You just keep pushing them into the little hole, and they just keep on getting teenier and teenier. Doesn't work on crayons, though. I tried a red one. Then the pencil sharpener slowed way down, and then it made a sound. And after that, it didn't go anymore. Just then, I heard a noise. It was walking feet, and it made me scared inside. 'Cause I didn't want anyone to find me, that's why. And so I squatted way down, and I looked through my peeky hole. There she is. Looking through her peeky hole. See if she sees anything. Then I saw a man with a trash can. He was singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. That's a song I know. It's from my favorite movie, which is called The Wizard of Oz. The man with the can didn't see me. He walked down the hall, Then I heard him go outside. I stayed squatted down for a long time, but he never came back. Phew, that was a close one, I said. And so then I ran to find a better place to hide. The dangerous nurse office. Dun, dun, dun. Guess where I ran to? Straight to the nurse's office, of course, because there's those little plaid blankets to hide under. There's other neat stuff in there, too, like a scale to weigh yourself and a sign with a giant E and other letters. The nurse uses the sign to test your eyes. She points to the letters, and you have to yell out their names. You have to yell the E the loudest. That's how come it's so big. And guess what else I saw in the nurse's office? Band-Aids. That's what. I love those guys. They were on top of the desk, and so I opened the lid and I sniffed them. I said, because Band-Aids smell just like a brand new beach ball. Then I dumped them out. They were the most prettiest Band-Aids I ever saw. They were red and blue and green and also yellow, which is the color I hate. And they were different shapes, too. There were squares and circles, and some were that very long kind, which are called tangles, I think. I put a green circle on my knee. That's where I fell down on the sidewalk last week. It's mostly all better now, but if I press it very hard with my thumb, I can still make it hurt. After that, I put a blue tangle on my finger. That's where I got a splinter from the picnic table. Mother pulled it out with tweezers, but there's still some table in there, I think. Maybe. Also, I put a red square on my arm. That's where Tickle scratched me because I got him all wound up. Just then, I saw the nurse's purple sweater. It was hanging on the chair. I put it on. Now I'm the nurse, I said. Then I sat down and I pretended to call the hospital. Hello, hospital? It's me, the nurse. I need some more Band-Aids and some aspirins and some cherry cough drops, only not the kind that make your mouth feel freezy. And I need some lollipops for when kids get needles. And also, I need a little stick or something in case I have to touch that dangly thing that hangs down in your throat. Then I pretended to call room 9. Hello, Mrs. Please send that Jim to my office. I have to give him a shot. Just then, I saw my most favorite thing in the whole world. They were near the door, and their name is crutches. Crutches are for when you break a leg. Then the doctor puts it in a big white cast with just your piggies sticking out. And you can't walk on it, and so she gives you crutches to swing yourself. I ran over and picked them up. Then I put them under my arms. Only they were way too long for me, and I didn't swing that good. And so then I got another idea. I carried them to the nurse's chair. With those crutches. And I climbed up there so I was real tall. And then I put the crutches under my arms and they fitted just right. After that, I stood on the edge of the chair and I leaned forward very slowly. Except then a terrible thing happened. The chair was on wheels and it rolled away from my feet and I got stuck on the crutches way high in the air and I was very dangly up there. Hey, I shouted, get me down from here. Then I wiggled around and one of the crutches slipped and I came crashing down. And I banged my head on the desk. Ow, I yelled, ow, ow, ow. Then I picked up the phone again. I quit this stupid job, I said. And then I ran out of there very fast. because the nurse's office is a dangerous place, and crutches aren't my favorite thing. So boys and girls, we're going to have to continue this. So what's going to happen? Now she's leaving the nurse office and she's scared of the big yellow bus taking her home. And I wonder where everybody's looking for her. They must be so worried. But you're going to have to tune back in to find out how this all ends up with Junie B. See you next time. Bye.